Alright everyone, welcome back to Total Carnage Readthroughs of NEFX Simplicity.com upload reviews. I'm admin1 of NEFX. Apologies for the very long wait time between the last video and this one. This is the last review of the time period that this is meant to cover. Previously I had read most of this particular review here by Dumb Mang, which may or may not be a pseudonym for another prominent community member. But got a ways through it, and then I think when I tried to get to it a day or so afterward, the site was down, and it remains down for a while. Eventually it came back up. I think at that point I had sort of forgotten, and everyone else had sort of forgotten. And then not too long ago, Windbreaker seemed to bring up that this particular review was not yet read through all the way. So I'm going to set about finishing that starting today. We'll see how far we get. But if I don't get through all of it, which I probably won't for today because there's quite a bit left, it won't be long before I tackle it again. So let's see where we left off. This was an all Latin or mostly Latin review, starting with the sentence. In elementum facibus mi, pelintesqua volupat, nisse nec laerit, cum san, metus me potitor ante, commodo consectitor risus eros nec ex, Maurice Ferretra in risus get laurit, vivamus puermentum quam vitae roncis suscipit, gusto dui aliquam massa. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and start translating this. I'm going to punch it into Google Translator. I'm sure some of the words won't be translated, but we'll get far enough, so let me cut to that real quick. Okay, here we are at Google Translate here. So it says, in the element of my throat, pelintesque volupat nisse nec laurit acum sam firmi portitor ante, commodo consectitor risus eros nec ex, Maurice Ferretra get laurit, and laughter. Let's live the ferment that life takes up. Just give me some mass, but with easy laughter the football bet. Until then, the fermentation will be followed by a Maurice. The children of the medical clinic, truxins non-elite, the vehicles were volpatate. In either massiu before the price hinderit in unless. He likes the food, but he hates the price. He hates the employees. Now the casino, the players from the placerato coulisses before the laughter of Ioismod, for the eros element of the elit and the eros. In homework, the clinic needs cartoons. The bow wants the sauce, not the real estate in front of the clinic. The urn of the world's greatest protein. Okay. Looks like it's just some kind of block text that was punched into some sort of Latin translator. Or maybe someone really did understand Latin, whoever, making the Latin version. I know that Aaron, the man freed, knows a bit about Latin, but I don't know how much to where he could faithfully by himself recreate like a log text in Latin, especially considering that it's an old language and thus many of modern terms wouldn't really have a parallel there. Anyway, so the next paragraph here, suspendice Ioismod ferments now, not the course of the mass demand of football, but it was warm. My canos quiver bow and just fringilla ferry. It is a massive disease and a massive easy corruption. Integer in some land commodo nip at volpatate velit, suspendice tensidunt odeo eo faciles piogiat. Even the author of the Ligula diam, at the advantage of the arc portitor a, live or live in the lake. The price of the plane is not eros, the pillow is paying you the valley before. The class is suitable for the silent partners who turn to the shores through our marriages, the Hymenaean projects. Maurice and Tortor football is the goal of the target and the bed. Like in us for a bed of chocolate, sometimes neither, sometimes Leo. It is flattering to drink before the target trucks. There is no such thing as an asset, it is a great consequence. I'm talking about a pulvinar now from the vestibule of the estate. There was a lot of homework, but it was worth it. Okay, next paragraph. There is nothing wrong with it. Chat that weekend. It was a weekend. The ship has a lot of mourning ahead. Duis actor arcu pretium acum san veliciin polici sapien. Policy sapien. Maecenas licinia tensidunt laughter emet venenatis. Children but chocolate-wise. The most important clinical development and promotion of Ioismod. Morbi should be the target of a Turkish quiver. Neither by disease nor the vehicles. Alright, next paragraph. moving along pretty smoothly, I think. The classroom will be followed by homework, until the goal of life is not the end of US mod. In order not to spend time on the topic, the football team members can invest or not. But the internet is working on the phone. Internet is working on the phone. It's like a call back to the dial-up days. For him, first of all, in the throats of the hospital to lay the beds of care into care. My Canas or pregnant elite will be followed by football players. What's with the football players? Are they like in conflict with school? Is this a classic example of, academia and athleticism conflicting? But the author of the Urn Tortor, let him be the author of the Great Gate. And when the orcs are born, the mountains will give birth to feathers and great arrows, and a ridiculous mouse will be born. Even on a free casino weekend, the ultra-cities of Lasinia are just fun for the kids. We live in the valley of the river valley. Let's try this one. Einien tinsidunt telis me avulputate est tinsidunt sidamet, vestiburum hindrerit dictum eros eusum lectus. Each vehicle is targeted at a very soft homework. Now let the members and me be happy soft protein. There should be no free setting of the game, nor should the developers hate the limits, until it was mass, time, and element or advantage from before. But the most important thing is the bow, such as the need for mass and arrows basketball. Duis finitates sim eget lectus lobortis beamet volpat nisi dapidus. Now, if you don't have the most important thing, if you don't have that poison, if you don't have anyone, he is said to have lived in the street. So spendise elefin maris eget orsi matis id urbadate laicos incidun. Lives of mourning become ugly, that was the children. Alright, next one up. In order to be wise, until the player wants to play, he does not become the owner himself. Now he needs a trigger, for the crucible is made from the poisoned urn of life. It was a weekend. Chatten said now and put how. The children are not just and the people need to be cared for. Everyone is made of zero football. Morbi members of laughter, eo age unitatis solicitundi, until the price of the pain of life is taken up by the ferment. Maris nisi enim fringilla acumsan nisi eat Uwera Koshus Maris, and when the orcs are born, the mountains will give birth to feathers and great arrows, and a ridiculous mouse will be born. A lot of fun at trucks. Even the Maladao Dewey is not a wise dignissium, and the course of the land is soft. Not only that, but the real estate agent needs to put Lasinia first. Until then, I am free. Don't worry about timing. Alequam Henderi elite is not the most important. The life of the corporal of life is targeted. In you, earth, in the need, homework, solicitudine, or the urn of life. Duisulin capor exil massa aculis so olipat massa tinsidon boro ulam corper tinsidon vestibulum e orcu eros rutrum finibus corsa neque. With or without a course, live in the earth and some mass. Alright, next one. He receives a lot of hate who is expected to be made. The element of disease itself is an ugly element. The so-called target diam, quisque eusmod ulem corpor hate, it needs to be played in front of the Ronkus. Until I got pregnant, I just had to do my homework. Each one is made to be ugly, and at the same time, it is a big one. What? You're saying you just have a bunch of big, ugly kids? What are you saying? For the asset was said to have no element. Until the result of the Pulvinar High School, the story itself is an important element. Chat with CNN members to promote it. Children's soft or hard life vehicles. He does not need to set a standard. Until there's no network that prices more than that to put the basketball mass. But some pure casino, not a medical casino. The author of the restaurant is a high school or a lion truck, and the employee's mouth is red. For the pillow of the hospital. There is no yard bed, the gate is not great, the course is great. Everyone is flattered to put the lake in the pool. Now there is no pain, but vehicles, but wisdom and joy. The poisons are easily cured. Until there's none before, the throats and the hindririt, and there will be no consequences. But the ugly hate, the sauce at CNM, or even, is not dignissium. What is the best price for smartphones? For the boat isn't a boat, not the urn of life. In fact, it is expected to set up a casino. That country just needs to be drunk. Life doesn't always trigger. Next up. But the wisdom of life is not the need of a tortor, nor is it a pain in the vestibule. Until the throat is just right and the massive Uismod is placed at the gate. Before him, first of all, in the throats of the hospital, to lay the beds of care and care. It is a whole sad story. Life is full of life. In the vestibule of Yogiat, Ainian, from which he is very sad sometimes. A comfortable pillow in front of the urn of life. The weird sadness was the price of life. But the leaven of wisdom is free, and the corporal does not want the throat a few times to set the weekend. Corabitur utricias fringilla sapien, well, Yogiat, ui maliswada non. No conversation in the story, for he is not the author of the arrows. Tomorrow my family will be free, but the fans are always welcome. To make the lake easy to pass any time. Until then, let it be free and free from homework. As a poisonous fear from the weekend, I don't care about the health of the whole family, like sometimes the chocolate. Fruske when not tisa mass of hatred is convenient, nor is it possible to lay down a plan. Tomorrow the Hindririt was targeted by the university and not the author. Ainian sagitis maliswada fear or porta ni prietium ut, there is no vestibulum dui, sad at the need of the law, Malauritet itself. Until the fermentation of life's pain needs a cushion. Until soft legula implacerat nuismod propagandized fearsome propagandist who adorns the great orcs of a state of a lion. But for the vestibule, there are no pregnant women, no trucks. There are no kids waiting for arrows ever. Don't always be afraid. One moment, I'm actually going to plug this in. The battery's getting low. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. This is plugged in, so let's go on to the next one here. Promote pregnant women. There is no consequence of the fear of the mass makeup, but the quiver bed homework. He needs no homework and no financing. My Kenas should be a great healer at that time. Until my end of Uismod, who should drink the life of Volputate. It's from the bed to put you mourning as Pelentuesque and Maurice. At the same time, there's no time to sit the football itself. There's no hatred of the Tinsiduns, the darts of the football club, the members of the mass. Some cartoons are just the vehicles of laughter, the drink of life for my kids. For there's no Maikenas but a well-trained employee. But Lakinia Sapien needs an Erosportitor who needs a drink. Each one was before me, whether he expected or not. I was anxious to drink. Huribatur pretium mas elit and frigilla no dinisium at. Alright. Next up. Let's see how many more we have to go for this one. Still several. But we also have come a ways, so it won't be too much longer at this rate before things are finally done. Who was the bed of the disease who was in need of life? He is said to have lived in the street. We live on the market for real estate vehicles, but there is no pregnant urn. Everyone needs to take care of themselves. Children benefit from the bed and have a great time, but the morning of the bow is now the morning of the homework. But life is not always poisoned by the hospital. I have no yeast. A boat is made of a lake. Tomorrow the pregnancy trigger will be a lot of makeup. The whole author expected a great quiver. Children's throats of basketball. There is no real estate for me or to put the grid. Alright, next one up. Duis Portamasa, or the author of the CNN. Sed need members o votate usto a portitortiam. Smartphones, there's no need to worry about the problem. Some of the members of the trigger pop, that was a real estate car. The makeup is not great. Diseases are not pregnant, but the torture is temporary, the greatest Maurice of life. Everyone needs a smile, not an element of concern. Sometimes hunger is expected, and before it is the first thing in the throat. My Kenas is my greatest adage, but he needs to have a dirty life. It was a great business, a small business, a small business. Children who is a cartoon pain who is a pillow now. Ainian id dinisium Maurice no tinsidun risus. Children are living with disease, old age, and children, and they are suffering from hunger and poverty. Velentesque, scelerisque, sem, will, vilis, lahinia, Hindririt. For Ainian hate, Velentesque in me ud, Hugiat facilis Maurice. Alright, next one. By the way, I'm just doing it one paragraph at a time because there's a character limit to this. No one hates Lakinia and no Lakinia Tortor, for the members are easy for me and do not mourn. It's a little bit of fun, but it's a very strange thing. But the medical level, the dignity of the one who pursues it, some life just. No one wants to be a player. God's fear of God, or reasons to drink from. It's high school elefund, sim, and pregnant members of the players. The class is suitable for the silent partners who return to the shores through our marriages through the Hymenian projects. Curabitor was put in place. The course was convenient. The Olim Corpor was. For the advertisement now, the price is free. The portal wants to invest. Live and play football toward Commodore. I have to wonder if the text that was locked in this case was like some story about like a football quarterback who became a parent in high school or something like that. Facilus tapibus ex non facibus aliquam lorim nib labortis justo ad ferveta risus eros sed ipsum. No chocolate or advertising. In the vehicles from as always, the bed children are living with disease, old age, and children, and they are suffering from hunger and poverty. Until and unless my Sagittarius elephant land is mourned, and put the pain of laughter in the members of the laughter that takes place. 2 basketball players in a sad game. The wisdom of the family is made and it was not easy to achieve either. This is made more difficult by the end of the pain. There is no expectation that the trucks will drink. We live in a land as a pregnant Tinsidon. Even kids like salad and chips, smartphones. So that the money is always free and no laurit maris polvinar. The author of Iuis Mod is a great man. Tomorrow the pain of a tortor Tinsidon is shot, that is the advantage of arrows. No iu mas maximus libero otricias vopatate fugiat mantis ligula. It is used for trucks and cars, but always my pelentuesque vestibulum vitae urn vopatate. Vestibulum eo quam at telus convales viuera, that from now on. It was a price that was before the bites, so that the arrows were elephant. That's why it's different. It flatters me. Some teenagers now have large estate vehicles, and it's a big deal. Makina sometimes wants homework from the laureate. Until then, it's a smart keyboard. Until the fear of Leo, the laureate is pure and there is no gate. But it's fair to say that pregnant women are benefiting from the promotion. No one but an airline. Interesad torpiset un ultricies, but fugiat sapientum vermintum. As the doctor wants the developers in the policy or of a law enforcement in the players. Einian needs a wise bow. The children were always free from the children, but the chocolate was only makeup. But who hates and hates the pillow? But the investment as at pregnant ends, the nib lectus is a great advantage. Who wants the Uis mod arrows? Who wants the due? Now football is not the most important thing in cartoons. Some like running but trigger. Fusque, diam, sapien, wrath, the laughter of life, fear the poisonous gate. But even the diam, lakinia, no element and no layer. Some basketball high school in its ultricies, the employee will follow the urn vestibule. There's no need to put any strings or targets. Children's children just from the gate always. Don't worry, I'll do my homework and I'll have a good weekend. Smartphones. And the fringilla do it and laughter sometimes, the grief of the life of the employee. Smartphones, he was a child, he was a teenager, he did not graduate. He graduated at the end of time. That's kind of powerful, graduating at the end of time. But he is just at the course. Smartphones, there's no need to worry about the temperature in the throat. Everyone cares about the fear of hate, a free truck from the developer. Now it was a mass, it was a lot of fun, and it needed a free makeup. Everyone likes football, someone hates sauce, just a weekend. It's not even fair to put the vehicles on the market or just. Enian Lakinia is a great elitist, and he has some great hatred for the employee. Nolum utricias torpis eo malisuada will putate, curabitur members unless someone takes the lake and river eat. Alright, next up. Everyone always has an urn or a pillow or cartoons. Morbi does not start in the fear of the vestibulum or football pain. Einin Ronkus is great, but it takes care of the environment. Children and Tortor Duin. Maurice will fall off the bed just in the elements, just like Sinia A. Tomorrow, however, the line of the Pelentisque Invest just as life the arrows Dion. There is no airline that does any homework. Who is the casino earn? Let the arch be more important than the vestibule. Let it be more important, the gate or the gate. Each story is an element, and basketball now likes it. It's not take anyone to be ugly. Even the mourners of the medical torturer, who flatters the target of fear and weird, just kind of ends abruptly there. It's for the players to drink the morning homework that need morbi facilis nisi willam kaport incident eugiat laughter ligula is accomplished for Fugiat conwalis just laughter sit Ahmed Telus my canos chocolate to drink before him the first of all in the throats of the hospital to lay the beds of care into care, for I am speaking in a soft and flattering manner, the members of the Dion. Onion was priest by Fugiat. It's time for the children to smile. Each one is a seasoned salad and only rice. For each trigger, it is convenient to carry and soft and smooth. As it needs the zeal of propaganda, you eat modern's not, nor the pillow. Potatoes are packed in potatoes and vegetables. Some people don't read the letter. The answer is to take the urn. Huske sed mi nib. See how many more after this. 1, 2. Oh, we're actually pretty close to finish. I feel like it'd take longer than it did. Tomorrow the Ulam Kokos now Sid Helus Hinderit as Sauce Elite time. It's either like a great CNN cartoon, but I hate it. There's no Lasinia Volpatate in the Valley of Life. I don't want to be flattered by the beauty of the Lasinia, but the clinical development. A great or venerable Polvinar, the massive mass propaganda expected from the heart of life, must be drunk now. Sometimes it is for children. Husque egestas turpis in aliquam laurit mauris sapien solicitudin urnam ut facilis lectius velit fringilla ipsum. Marisa eros maliswada lacinia urna quis the price itself. For we lived for a time and it was a casino, let it be a lot of real estate with arrows. Okay. Basically 2 more to go before it's English again entirely. The time of the ship is the advantage of the medicine, or the quiver hates the easy football. Some of that is the law of the arc, and the time of the law. Some people always have a smile on their face, and they invest in the economy of developers. Even Fugiat, who frees the element of dignisim, is wise to place the bow of the lake Medapipus before the god and the great. Stress and need for laughter. Vivamus utricies, morison, sceleris, qued, ulam corpor, ligula, just soft ligula, not set free before not how. Onion molestie telus, but wants a different sauce. Everyone is in the right corner. Until the biggest members fear or decorate. Everyone has different advertising and marketing needs. Now he takes on the element of investment. There are no kids or high school input from the pillow in. To invest is not the most important thing in clinical life. In non-easy times of life, one becomes a smart person, an innovative person, until the ecological advantage is pure of a lifespan is great. Vivamus quis risus in nisi vopotate veninatis. He needs a clinical trial. It's a great product, an element that needs to be advertised, a sad airline. But Fugiat convoles galerisque, neither onion nor Fugiat. Alright. Because the quotes, people should not be afraid of their governments, governments should be afraid of their people. By V for Vendetta, Alan Moore. I can agree with that sentiment. Quote, the trouble is that we have a bad habit, encouraged by pedants and sophisticates, of considering happiness as something rather stupid. Only pain is intellectual, only evil interesting. This is the treason of the artist, a refusal to admit the banality of evil and the terrible boredom of pain. If you can't lick him, join him. If it hurts, repeat it. But the praise despair is to condemn delight. To embrace violence is to lose hold of everything else. We have almost lost hold. We can no longer describe happy men, nor make any celebration of joy. End quote by Ursula K. Le Guin, the one to walk away from Omelas. That's how you pronounce it. I can also appreciate that sentiment, being myself something of an artist who runs a bit up against that trope of, the idea that one's best art necessarily can only arise from their worst conditions or something like that, which is quite often just kind of a flimsy excuse for exploitation and thievery from artists, but that's a different topic. Moving on, we have If Others Had Not Been Foolish, We Should Be So. It's by William Blake from The Marriage of Heaven and Hell. that I'm less sure of. But from what I understand, William Blake was a real mystic, and so that's one of those phrases that's probably got many different implications to read into for hours, really. Next quote is, "The law cannot protect anyone unless it binds everyone, and it cannot bind anyone unless it protects everyone," by Frank Wilhoit. That one I'm also not sure of, but I think I can get at what the underlying sentiment may be, given the above included quotes and just what I know about The Man, because I'm pretty sure Da Mang is supposed to be a parody of The Man, which is to say Aaron Freed, particularly as he shows up on the forums. But anyway, that's the last review from the time period that these read-throughs were meant for. So again, thanks to everyone for all the insane, wacky reviews. It was good to read them and to read them back out loud to you, including that one that's now lost to time. That was a total lock piece that I believe was posted by Douche Tower, and then later on deleted, I guess in part because it helped crash the site because it was so big. But just a reminder, everyone, to please leave reviews of any and all NEFX inventions, certainly here on simplicity.com, but for that matter, basically any other sites on which such inventions are uploaded, whether they be for marathon or music or text pieces or whatever. Just review them because it's the good thing to do. The reviews can be long or short, serious or irreverent, positive or negative. You can give whatever review you want. The important thing is that you leave a review. But that's it. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.